I think we'll be okay. We used to talk to each other mostly without Ben.
That's true.
The amount of time we've spent talking to each other without Ben vastly exceeds the time that we've spent talking to each other with Ben.
Yeah, that's true. He's got some catching up to do.
Just when we learned how to fit a Ben in.
Hello and welcome to WayTooBroad, a place for friends to talk about things that they're really, really ridiculously excited about. I'm Hannah, and this is my one co-host for today. Erin.
Hey, Hannah.
Hi, Erin.
Man. Two is the loneliest number.
Yeah. I think we mentioned last week, maybe, that Ben is moving this week, and so he had to pack his microphone and send it off to California ahead of him. So he's not able to party with us this week. He's also very busy with packing and moving.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know. I feel like he recorded this podcast when he was like in his senior year finals and was valedictorian, highest GPA of his graduating class. So I'm like,
And then he posted this picture on Twitter earlier today where it just looked like his floor is just a mess. And I was like, aren't you supposed to be all packed up? You're leaving in like 3 days. That's
so he has Twitter, but he doesn't have a microphone?
Pretty suspicious if you ask me.
Yeah.
What a jerk.
What a jerk. Well, all jerks aside, Ben, I hope you have a nice move.
Yeah, good luck with your... you'll already be in California when this comes out.
Yeah, hello from California. No.
No, hello to California.
Hello in California.
Hello in California. Hey.
From the East Coast. Hey.
We get downloads from California. If you're listening to this and you're also in California, you should tweet at Ben, hello from California, so he feels welcome.
Ben doesn't have any friends. And you could be that friend. So maybe just tweet at him. If you like big, stretchy, twisty cats and are in California.
Big, stretchy, twisty people.
Twizzler cats. Then give a shout out to Ben and be his friend.
Yeah. Please get Ben some friends. Hashtag get Ben some friends. Well, you know what else makes this week special and better than other weeks?
In addition to Ben not being here?
Right.
What?
It's also our 1-year anniversary.
Oh, man. That's so great.
Yeah. Since the first episode came out, of the release of the first episode. It's episode 51 instead of episode 52 because, as Erin previously explained, we skipped a week somewhere in the middle. I did not number the little announcement that I was in China, or we were on China.
I have a trivia question.
Okay.
But it's kind of an inverted trivia question because I want you to ask it to me because I don't know the answer, but I think that you might.
Okay.
So
you have my attention.
This is workshopping this format for trivia. Okay. So we're celebrating the year of our first release of WayTooBroad, but we recorded the first episode long before you released it.
Yes.
What is the date of the day that we recorded it and not the day that it was released? I'm asking you, I don't know the answer. So it's not a trivia question, it's a question. I'm asking you a question.
It's just a question.
But I'm framing it as a trivia question.
I know that it was in March.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was like mid-March. I know that much.
Okay.
That's basically all I know
about
it.
That's lining up. Because we talked about it maybe when I saw you for Savannah. Because we talked about it in person for the first time.
Okay.
So maybe it might have been later.
Wait. Let me check the drive. Got final episode audio in here for episodes 2. It's a sneaky one. Okay, actually, this says WayTooBroad episode 1, final 4217. Which, if I know my numbering system, means that I at least saved this file on April 2nd of 2017. So we recorded our first episode in April of 2017, but we released it September 3rd.
Hey! No, I have an email to you. WayTooBroad audio, Saturday, April 1st, 2017, 3 p.m.
All right. So it was April 1st that it was recorded. I edited it immediately. That's never happened since then.
Wow. And I got an email from you on Saturday, September 2nd. Guess who finally put episode 1 of WayTooBroad online?
Hey.
And it was you. The answer to that was you. It was you.
That was my trivia question to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good times. Well, we're celebrating a 1-year anniversary, and we actually lied. We do have a third co-host, and the third co-host is you, dear listeners.
That's right. Dear listeners, we've been asking you to send us your favorite WayTooBroad moments for several weeks now, and you delivered, and we so appreciate it. And I just minimized Erin. Okay, there's your face. There's your face.
Here it is.
So this week, our first obsession is gonna come from you guys, and it's gonna be us.
Everyone's obsessed with us. Wow, unexpected. I have heard of this podcast. Go on, though.
We're gonna just we got some emails and stuff.
But we have upfront stuff and drinking and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, Erin, what are you drinking?
Where are we without Ben? We're nowhere without Ben, I swear. I'm almost done a Corona, and then I have a insulated, like this fancy, like insulated hydro flask cup full of pumpkin beer.
Oh.
Yeah, I love pumpkin beer, and I'm very excited that we're kind of turning into the season slightly, very, very beginning, and I am making it my goal to drink as many pumpkin beers this season as possible. Not quantity, but like of beers, but different types, yeah. I'm not gonna like chug pumpkin beers like throughout, but I'm gonna try to sample as many varieties of pumpkin beer as possible.
That's cool. Do you know about Ian's rule about pumpkin beer?
Oh no, but I'm not surprised to hear he has one, but I'm interested to hear what it is.
I think the rule is that he won't drink any pumpkin beer before October.
Well, okay, that is totally reasonable. I hear that 100%. I have a question for him though. Excuse me. Fall starts September 21st or 22nd, the autumnal equinox. Is it October or like fall?
It's a good question. I'll follow up with you next week.
I guess it's not a question as much. Me.
It's a trivia question.
It's Saturday, September 22nd. So my question to him is, if it's October, would he consider bumping that up to fall?
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you trying to negotiate with him?
I'm negotiating on his rule, yeah. It's a barter system.
That's wonderful. I'll ask him.
Okay.
All right, let me take that note. Hang on. Autumnal
equinox, Saturday, September 22nd.
Okay.
What are you drinking? What?
I wrote autumnal equinus.
Yep. The fall horse starts on the 22nd.
I am drinking a beer. It's a Sierra Nevada 2018 Oktoberfest.
Oh. Okay, how does he feel about Oktoberfests in August?
He's apparently fine.
This doesn't make any sense. I don't drink Oktoberfest till October.
I don't think
You frick.
Oktoberfest is actually in October, though.
Oh, that's right.
But it's a collaboration with Weinstefan or Weinstefan. This just says Weinstefan, but I thought it was Weinstefan.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have Oktoberfest. And 2018 date is September 22nd.
Okay, so it's at the fall equinox.
It's
then.
the same day.
Yeah. Okay, but he's been drinking this for sure.
You're less thrilled about this factoid. I really like Oktoberfest because I always expect them to be like maltier and thicker than they are, but they're always just a delight.
Yeah, it's really not like it's not like a thick like a Guinness or anything. It's just like really satisfying. It's just nice. I just like it. It just stays in your mouth in a really nice way. Like some beer just like sticks around and you're mad about it. But this beer is like I had one sip of it before. Right now I've only had one sip of it. It was like I had tried a sip of Ian's beer and I kept on thinking about it for like another hour afterwards because my mouth just tasted so nice still.
It was still in my mouth and then I realized I forgot to swallow, but it was like in a nice way.
It was a good decision on my part.
I think that's what I mean when I say it's not as malty. I think when I have that experience of a beer staying in my mouth in not a nice way, it's usually a malty experience.
Is that malt the same as like the malted milk balls malt? Because I hate those.
I love a malted milk ball. The taste isn't the same. It's kind of like a thick sweetness, I'd say. I have a small story about drinking an Oktoberfest that comes to mind whenever I think about an Oktoberfest, which is Molly was out of town. Stop me if I've told this on pod before. Molly was out of town, and I never call. We don't call each other. We don't talk on the phone. I've probably told you the story. We don't talk on the phone ever. Like we're
really?
We're not compatible phone talkers. We're really not. We're really not. We'll FaceTime.
Yeah,
like that's good for us to like see each other, but we can't talk on the phone. So she is in a conference in California and gets a call from me. And misses it and gets a voicemail. So she is a little concerned. So she steps out of her conference talk to listen to my voicemail. And what had happened was I was out. It was back when I could ride my bike from my house to downtown Durham. And I think it was Pride weekend. And I had gone out with some friends and then went to a bar and they were serving because our Pride is at the end of September because it's so freaking hot in June. And I went to a bar that was serving liters of Oktoberfest, and because I was on my bike, I like drank a liter of Oktoberfest, and then I was riding my bike home, and I turned onto the bike trail, and I saw a really fat woodchuck running in the dead center of the trail towards me, like running, like all alone. Nobody was on the trail, no animals, no people, but it was like out for a jog, like running straight toward me, and then saw me and kind of startled and like ran away, like it wasn't just out for a jog on the pedestrian trail. And so the voicemail is like me having had a liter of beer, riding my bicycle, like being like, I just saw a fat woodchuck running on the trail. So fond memories. I love Oktoberfest.
I don't think you told that story on the pod before.
Well, it's a day. Even if I had, it's a day of reminiscing. So.
Yeah, exactly. We it's funny though. I do remember you talking about how you and Molly are not phone compatible, and I'm like sitting here thinking how stunned I am that Ian and I don't have that problem because we both hate talking on the phone with anybody else, but we call each other since like our first date. We've called each other every single day.
Wow,
our entire life. Our whole life.
Your whole life. Since together. The day we met, our whole life. I think it's different if you have two phone incompatible people, but I'm like a super great phone talker. I love talking on the phone. Like really, like I love to talk on the phone, but Molly like doesn't say anything on the phone. It's like, it's just how she just like doesn't talk. She'll call you and not say anything. Like and it drives me crazy. I think it's not that she's not phone compatible with me. It's that I get frustrated just because like I expect certain give and take, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not to my satisfaction. So, but when we FaceTime, I can gaze at her face which is lovely. And I don't have that problem. I'm contented with the silence because I can look at her.
That's nice.
So, yeah, it's nice. All right, I have one small upfront thing.
Me too. Okay, you go first.
Okay, it's very small. It's that now Twitter, when I go to send a direct message, the number one suggestion it asks me for suggests to me is Barack Obama. So besides Barack Obama, I only ever direct message my best friend Sarah. But now Twitter's like, well, your best friend's Obama. So why don't you send him some more direct messages?
Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, we got another email today from President Barack Hussein Obama. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I should have committed better to that. I'm going to have to cut that out. It was so sad.
Oh, wow. We didn't even get another email. It was just
the saddest attempt.
That was very bad.
I know.
Like, you can't fool me because you've been sending me, like, way more insignificant, like, pieces of emails.
Like, I for sure would have let that slip sooner.
You would have, like, blown up the internet. It would have been.
It's true. My really quick upfront thing is that it's so hot here.
What? How hot?
It was like, I think it reached at least 98 degrees today.
Wow.
If not 100. And tomorrow, I think it's supposed to be even hotter. There are a lot of schools around that are doing like half days or being closed for the whole day because of how hot it's going to be.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's kind of wild. I'm like, I can't remember that happening before.
That's really crazy.
Anyway, we're not a weather podcast. We're a podcast about our friends who listen or something. I don't know. I don't know what we are.
We're kind of an everything podcast.
We're an everything podcast, yes. So, let's dive in. Let me ask you this. Here's a trivia question for you.
Everything's a trivia question if you're creative enough.
Right. Would you rather start with text messages, emails, voicemails, new reviews, or friend conversations or Twitter?
Is friend conversations or Twitter the same category? Is this like miscellaneous?
The best.
Miscellaneous and other. Let's start with Twitter.
Okay. We got a tweet. It was so nice. I've never had anyone tweet out about our podcast before. Maybe that's sad to say, besides the co-host. But I retweeted it, so you guys can go look for yourself. But we got a really nice tweet from a guy named Ryan Daigle. He said, listening to the Too Broad podcast is like laughing along with that really fun group of friends you wish you had, but probably don't, with all the inside jokes and never-ending stream of digs and snarky comments. Really fun podcast. And then there's like a tongue sticky outy face. And he even put in a link to where people could find it. It was like just really nice.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the shout out. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Thanks for the tweet.
Thanks, man.
So great.
So that was nice. I don't know. I'm not sure if that was prompted by us asking for feedback for this episode or not. But it was just a really nice surprise in the middle of the day for me. So that was lovely. We got a new review on Podknife.
Oh, nice. Let's read it.
Okay. It's from Kay. And it says, the title is 3 Friends Who Crack Each Other Up in a Good Way. And then she says, the content suggested to listeners is great. Plus, I find myself wishing I could jump into the conversation. Very funny. And then there's a smiley face.
Thanks, Kay. I hope that's not because we keep saying incorrect things. Like Breaking Bad has 4 seasons. I wish I could jump into the conversation and correct Erin. Do you know Kay?
Yeah, she actually also was texting me about the show. Pretty much unprompted, which I guess I shouldn't have to say that, but I'm just saying, like, I wasn't like out begging my friends to tell me stuff. I don't know.
I don't think you can say unprompted, because we have been for the past like 4 or 5 episodes like prompting people to get in touch with us like pretty heavily. So we can assume a base level of prompting.
But I was just telling her how much I missed her, because we used to see each other more than we do now. And then she was just like, I've been listening to your podcast. So it was really nice.
Cool.
So shout outs to Kay. Thank you for the review. And then she also said in her text to me that Erin could start putting together her bits into a stand-up comedy routine. She said her favorites are your Unk story, which is very good. The iRobot coming on by itself is the other one, which is also so good. It made me go back and listen to it, and it's really, really funny. I remember when you told that story being like, oh my God, how does this not resolve in I know
murder?
Right. Like, I know that this is okay because Erin's sitting right here, but you and I were just in the middle of reading that. Like, what timing was that? Like,
it was crazy. I had literally listened to that entire book like that day on a road trip. Do you said you just listened to it today. Do you remember the episode numbers we can throw out?
Oh, I wasn't listening to it today, but I can find it.
That's what you said.
I didn't.
No,
I didn't
you said
say
you were
that.
just listening. You didn't. I'm sorry. You said you were just listening.
I totally didn't listen.
Well, it was probably the one after I'll Be Gone in the Dark, right?
Yeah, it was. Which, by the way, everybody should read that book or listen to it. But for anyone who hasn't, it's about a serial killer and rapist who broke into people's houses at night while they were sleeping and, did very bad things to them. And was like really sneaky about it. And then like Erin had a moment when she was hearing noises downstairs, like distinctive noises of something moving around downstairs while she was listening to that book. And it was crazy. So you should go back.
No, it wasn't while I was listening to the book. It was like we had finished that book and then we were sleeping in the middle of the night.
Well, yeah. I meant like in the same period of your life.
Man, that like timing couldn't have been better. We mentioned that a little bit last ep, but like the timing of that obsession of I'll Be Gone in the Dark couldn't have been better, because it was like, I'm looking for that episode number. That was 34, like you just said. This timeline has no dates or times. That's a good title. Yeah, you mention it. You give us just enough time to like read it and really get into it. It might have been episode 36, I don't know. And then it was like how long after that they actually caught him?
Well, it was the week. It was our off week, I think.
Yeah. So that's right.
So hang on. This doesn't make no sense.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Forget everything we've ever said.
Okay, episode 32.
Episode 32
is when I talked about I'll Be Gone in the Dark.
So I must have had my incident in episode 34.
33.
No. 33. Right.
In episode 33, Erin had her incident.
Yes, and then in episode 34 is when he got caught. Right.
Then I was in China for a week. Then in the very next episode that we recorded, he had been caught, but it was 2 weeks later. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That timing is crazy.
Yeah, the timing is really crazy.
Wow.
That's really cool. What a time. What a time.
What a time to be alive.
Sorry that it took us this crazy. That was my fault, because all I did was search on this page for I'll Be Gone in the Dark and saw read or listen to I'll Be Gone in the Dark, so assumed that episode 34 was the first one, but it wasn't.
Gotta check that topic index.
The topic index, though, I'm sorry.
So thank you, Kay, for the text. I also really enjoyed those stories. I hope you enjoy the new story about the chipmunk. It
was a woodchuck.
Oh yeah, that's much more impressive. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it really is.
Big old freaking woodchuck. When you said the review was from Kay, I got a little excited because I thought you might have meant Kay from Quiz Call.
I mean, she could be. I've never asked Kay if she spent any time being British.
Cake from Quiz Call is a story that Hannah and I told in one of the early episodes. Don't remember which. Sorry.
Yeah, we sang that's embarrassing. We sang that song. Did we?
Quiz
Maybe we didn't.
Call.
And you can't win because you're all really dumb.
Dumb.
We're fun.
Yeah, we're a good time. Okay.
All right.
Hey,
So
we've known each other for a long, long time.
Yeah. So we did the pod knife. We did the Twitter.
Thanks, Aunt Brown, also for the review on Pod Knife. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Shout out.
Thank you. And thanks for the content for the DM to our Erin's new best friend, Barack Hussein Obama.
Yeah, thank you. I'll let you know how that's going. Still no update.
I guess while we're on like things that friends told me informally, my friend Matt has been, I guess, binging the podcast recently. And he was saying that one thing he really enjoys about it, this is sort of the thing that I previewed last week, is that with the McElroys, he was comparing us to the McElroys, and with the McElroys, they all kind of are into the same things. So it's like, if you're a fan, you just kind of have to accept that, like, something like, you know, Jimmy Buffett's music and his whole deal is just like something that they're gonna accept as cool and great, and you just have to like go along with that, and that's just like part of like being a fan of the McElroy brothers. But with us, even though we're similar, we have a lot of different interests, so there's somebody probably that you can relate to on any given episode.
And then something new that you can learn about.
Yeah. So thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for saying that we're supremely better than the McElroy brothers. Wow. What a compliment.
What a compliment that was. We just started a D&D podcast. No, so much work. Oh my god.
Yeah, that sounds a little involved. I was saying we should just play Dominion online and record ourselves and see if there's anything there. And then yeah, there probably isn't, but you know, who knows.
What would we call it if we did that? Just audio from Dominion.
Yeah. Us playing Dominion, the fricks. WayTooDominion.
Yeah, WayTooDominion is established as something we use.
Yeah, and it's appropriate because it's probably just like way too much us playing Dominion.
I don't think Ben mentioned in our co-op Stardew game that we're playing, he named our farm Way Too Farm.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I miss Ben already.
Baby Ben. Emails?
Emails.
Okay.
Well, should we do the message first?
Should we do the message? Yeah, let's do the message.
Okay, do you want to do the audio first and then the transcription, or the transcription first and then the audio?
Okay, when my grandpa called your dad.
No, he called my mom. I'm going to see if she still has that, and we'll send it to me right now.
But did you see the name
We
first?
We saw it first, and it was very funny.
Okay, then I think we should read the transcript and then listen to the audio.
Yeah.
What are you asking for exactly?
The message.
The transcript?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just asking her if she has it. Okay. Can I read the transcript?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. So we have our new WayTooBroad phone number, which you should totally call. I'll let Hannah hit you with that number.
It's 774-326-0420.
Blaze. Okay. So we got a voicemail, which is so great. And Google sends us a transcription. And so here's the transcript. We'll redo the transcription and then play the actual voicemail. I'm just reading it straight. No context. Wow. Worst message. And we're excited about leaving you a message. So this is Uncle Brown. Brown in shadows to Rachel. All together wishing you a happy first anniversary of which, yeah, happy 50th, 53rd, and 1 year. It's totally awesome. And I also have to do a shout out to Over the Garden Wall, which was like one of my favorite topics that you guys did, and for me, that's a Halloween go-to. That's good. And also we're coming. How do you say rocket? How do you say super rocket? Pretty good. He's a good off of would like you can't buy cooking. But yeah, then you can correct. It sounds really good, right? Bye-bye. Love you. So then we'll listen to it. Hannah, let's you and I listen to it. Press play at the same time. That way we can listen to it and then also react to it afterwards.
Okay.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, play.
Wow, worst message ever. We're excited about leaving you a message, though. This is Uncle Brown.
Aunt Brown. And shout outs to Rachel.
All together, wishing you a happy first anniversary of WayTooBroad.
Yeah, happy 50th.
51st
episode and 1 year. It's totally awesome.
And I also have to do a shout out to Over the Garden Wall, which was like one of my favorite topics that you guys did. And for me, that's a Halloween go-to. That's good. And also Murakami. How do you say his first name?
Haruki.
The Murakami guy. He was good. He's a good author. We like him. Mm-hmm. Even if we can't honor him by pronouncing his name.
Haruki Murakami. But yeah, Ben, baby Ben, you can correct us.
And I'm sure you'll enjoy doing that. Bye. Good job. Bye.
Bye. Love you.
Love you.
That was so sweet. I feel like Google couldn't handle any of that last part.
No.
Like, no one said, and also we're coming. No one said that.
No. I think that was Murakami. I'm impressed that it got over the garden wall and it kept... God. And it capitalized it correctly. You know, I feel like the people who listen to this and don't know me probably think that I just burp all the time. But I think this is like one of the only times of the week that I drink beer usually.
Yeah, well, we're socially drinking.
Yeah,
is what I think. So you're drinking beer, drink it a little faster.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. Well, okay. To be fair to Google, I don't think it's usually ready to take like 3 inputs at once.
Yeah.
When it's transcribing language, yeah. But
and shadows to Rachel.
Rachel.
Shadows to Rachel.
That's her new name. That's her like dark alter ego.
Well, happy 53rd and 1 year anniversary to us. That's totally awesome.
Yeah. I'm gonna copy that.
Well, thank you to Aunt Brown, Uncle Brown, and shout outs to Rachel for your message.
Yes.
And I also just realized that you all have your unique WayTooBroad podcast nickname.
Yeah, they do.
That you've adopted. So
yeah, they're hanging out because actually the microphone that Ben should be using tonight is with them. So, and if Ben could be here to correct you guys on how to pronounce that author's name, I'm sure that he would say it's Haruki Murakami, you fucking idiot. So I'm just gonna, on behalf of Ben, give you that correction.
I just feel like he's here with us right now.
Yeah, it sounded like Rachel got it. Good job. Shout outs to Rachel.
She totally did. Shout outs to Rachel.
Shout outs to Rachel.
That's why you're shout outs to Rachel. What can I say? Well, emails.
Emails from pretty much the same people, but with different content, mostly. So, thanks very much for engaging with us so much, you guys. We super appreciate it. So, from Rachel. Rachel sent, I think, 5 different emails with favorites. She kept on thinking of more, which is awesome.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Okay, so here's the first one. Favorite topics. All things Janelle Monáe related. Us too. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. Rachel knew, as we mentioned last week, shout outs to Rachel, knew about Janelle Monáe long before we did. I mean, like the rest of the world, apparently, but...
The whole world did. I mean, I'm not surprised to hear this at all. Everyone did. No
and
one
Rachel...
told us, is that our fault? I don't think so.
I don't think it's our fault. I don't know.
Nobody
what
let
to
us
think.
know. Nobody came to our house and was like, excuse me, do you listen to Janelle Monáe? Well, you should.
It's just an unspoken rule that needed to be spoken to us.
Excuse me, madam. Are you listening to Janelle Monáe?
No one's making house calls, just delivering up
That's
Janelle
right.
Monáe albums.
Well,
And they should be. Yeah.
They should be.
Rachel has a plant in her cubicle at work, which is named Janelle Monáe. Did you know
That's
that?
so great.
Yeah.
I did listen to that episode of So Dreamy where she mentioned it. Do you know what her Christmas cactus's name is?
I don't. She sent me a picture once. I'll see if I can figure it out later. Okay, cooking shows. Every time we talk about cooking shows, she liked that. Erin's love affair with bread making was a wonderful saga. I totally agree.
I'm still, pulling it out every once in a while. And it's nice that I had been a little distant from it just because of time, truly. Like, the interest is still there because it's so, like, easy and relaxing.
Yeah.
And after a string of, like, making a loaf, like, many times a week, I made one recently and was, like, remembering just, like, I was so close to it at the beginning where I was making bread that I kind of got used to, like, fresh baked bread in my house. And I made it recently. I was like, holy shit, this is really good. It's just like having fresh baked bread is like nothing else.
Bread is amazing. So if anyone's interested in Erin's bread saga, I believe it starts around episode 10. And then I think you probably mentioned bread in some form or another for like another 10 episodes after that.
Well, and then Baby Ben got into it a little bit too.
Baby Ben, was baking bread. You're right. You spread that to Baby Ben.
Yeah,
not one of his favorites. If last week, no.
Yeah,
but
even though it was like one of his, he mentioned it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Episode 20, alternate pants reality. We get nerdy about bread all over the dang place. So
yeah. So there you go. It goes that far. My garden transformation was a favorite of hers. That was another multi-episode thing. There was like one that was about clearing the yard and one episode where my obsession was gardening. I was really double dipping quite a lot with gardening.
Rachel likes the long game. It seems
She
like
does.
they're like long standing. These transient ones, she's like not clicking with as much. She likes these recurring themes. I'm noticing.
She likes the overarching storylines.
Yeah,
She doesn't like the one-offs.
no. Well, who does really?
Yeah.
In a
They're not the parts you remember,
yeah, that's right.
The
Reinforcement.
The last one of our favorite topics was that one time that I was just getting used to my commute and went a little bit crazy and imposed a plot line onto to a non-concept album.
So cool.
Pretty wild stuff. Favorite jokes, all the terminology-ins. She says, I love that Ian and Hannah choose odd names for things. And then the allow it story and its correction from my dad, Ben.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
Was that Norbert Brown's, was that at Thanksgiving that he corrected that?
That was episode 13. Family Thanksgiving Story was Shorty was the edit, but I don't know when the allow it was.
Must have been before that.
Family Inside Jokes. We started Family Inside Jokes with episode 4.
So somewhere between those.
Yeah.
All I'm saying, guys, is just listen to all of them. What's it gonna hurt?
What's it gonna hurt? What's it gonna hurt? Your ears if you listen too loud. I have an incoming.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have an incoming alert here. News alert here.
Did you hear from your mom?
Yeah, I did. So we have this, speaking of Family Inside Jokes, we have this like classic thing that happened a few years ago where Hannah's grandpa comes to our family Thanksgiving every year. He is our non-shared grandfather.
Right.
And he's a wonderful man, very sweet guy. And he usually like shows up to the Thanksgiving like earlier than he tells us that he is, which is totally fine because we're just kind of around.
Yeah.
But he called my mom one Thanksgiving to let her know that they had already arrived, like maybe a day earlier than which is like, I know of another, I feel like that's kind of like an old man thing.
Yeah, well, also, like, I think they drive up, so it's like,
Yeah.
If they make good time, then like, ta-da, like we're here. You know?
I don't know. I travel predictably. I don't know. So he called my mom and left a message. This is November 22nd, 2016. He left this message, and the transcription software was still in beta, and so this is what it transcribed. Yeah, this is the keg. Are you guys around? If you can't hide, we are here at the Wingate, and it looks lovely, and I just want to let you know that we're here in the attorney plans for the night. The rest of it's not relevant. It's this is the keg. So we call him the keg. Like, that's his name now. Oh, here, I have the audio. Mom saved all these things.
Wow. What a lady. Shout outs to your mom, who will never hear this.
But his name is Dick Yeager.
Yeah, Dick Yeager.
But
the keg.
It translated as the keg. So that's just a freaking classic.
Yeah.
Like bad transcriptions
Yeah.
in our family. Yeah, this is the keg.
Yeah, this is the keg. They always call him the keg now.
We call him the keg. That's his name. I don't even remember his regular name.
You just said it.
I don't even remember what it is.
Wow.
Because it's the keg now.
I don't know what you're talking about, Hannah.
All right. We have more faves from Rachel.
Yeah, I forwarded those to you because I thought you might want to read some of them.
Cool. I just saw them. All right. Her more faves are, I have an announcement.
Just
I think
I
gave that's a quote. I think I gave the background on that in a previous episode.
Yes, you did. You did.
That's just a needed tool in our family to get a word in edgewise.
A word in edgewise.
Another one that she likes is when Hannah constantly goes, yeah! She has 3 crying with joy emojis next to that. She likes it when that Ben regularly and purposefully dragging out and or mispronouncing words. That's a favorite of mine too, you know.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. There's no one to do that in this episode.
He's skilled at that. He is.
I'm skilled at like not purposely doing spoonerisms.
You are. You're also skilled at puns.
You know, we all have their strengths. She liked the personality tests. She liked the sexual harassment rant. And I'd like to say that's a anti-sexual harassment rant, just in case that wasn't clear.
Yeah, but you also shouted that out as a good moment for Ben.
Yeah, that was a good moment.
Thumbs up.
She liked the singularity, and she liked learning about Walmart history and impact on small Arkansas town. And she said, P.S., that is a great t-shirt idea from hidden host Ian.
All right, that's one t-shirt sale. We can mark that off.
That's right. I ordered 5,000, so I'm glad to hear that.
You know, when we get our new logo, that quote's going to make even more sense.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Not to spoil anything, but...
New logo. More information coming soon.
Yeah.
Well, thanks. Shout out to Rachel.
Yes, thank you. Shout out to Rachel. And Rachel sent one more follow-up. Oh, crap, I forgot about Big Mouth. Binged that and loved it. I wouldn't have known about it without WayTooBroad.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. So, thank you, Rachel. Shout outs to Rachel.
Again, sorry if this is spoiling anything, but I'm going through the WayTooBroad email account, which I never do, and there's a new voicemail.
Yeah.
And it says, hey, I'm Polar Seltzer. I'm refreshing my natural. I'm 100% now. So I'm also calorie free, and I'm lying. You're lying your life. What is this? I'm going to play that. What's happening?
Okay, do it.
Hey, I'm Polar Seltzer. I'm refreshing the natural. I'm 100% natural. I'm also calorie free. And I'm lying?
You're lying?
I'm lying.
You're lying. You're lying.
Wow, were you guys drinking?
No. No, he just was reading a Polar Seltzer. We were testing the...
Oh, okay.
We're testing the phone. But that'll be good. People probably... Oh, I guess if Ian guessed it on one episode, so people may have heard his voice, but that's Ian talking in that voicemail. So you can know what he sounds like.
These are funny. Okay.
I'm 100% now. I'm 100% now.
100% now.
So I'll put that into. Why not?
Well, great. Any other emails?
No, I think that's everything.
I see one from Aunt Brown, 50th anniversary faves.
Oh gosh. Oh my god. Good job. But she did already say it. So her fave, I believe, was Over the Garden Wall, which she called out in her voicemail. And also the Foundation series. Thanks to Ben, I went back and reread and also discovered prequels. This series is so amazing, and I'm grateful that he reminded me of this and just why I enjoy science fiction so much.
I'm adding
That's it for me. Love you all. Huh?
I'm adding that to my list. I should have before, but now that I wasn't audiobooking as much then. So
I downloaded it. The audiobook is pretty good. I started with the Foundation. I don't know if that was the right thing to do. But because there's also Prelude to Foundation, but I didn't start with that. But
man,
it's good.
I feel like Ben offers guidance on this topic when he, in episode 25, hitting rocks with other rocks. I feel like he offers guidance on this topic, so I'll have to go back and listen. Oh, sorry. Episode 20, alternate pants realities, when he introduces it. I'm so sorry.
No, he's a smart guy. We gotta stop saying nice things about Ben. He's not even here.
Yeah.
He's abandoned us, and all we can do is say nice things. It's like, what?
What is that even about?
Okay. Well, thanks everybody again for sending all those nice things and being our third co-host this week. And we're gonna also do some obsessions.
Yeah, we have some obsessions. Am I first?
We have some obsessions. No, I'm first.
The first,
and I have
because it's push
such an obsession.
Oh, I can't wait to hear it.
Can
I go pee first though?
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. Okay. Henry.
What?
You hit yourself in the face with your headphones.
You did. Yours. Okay. You've got a crazy obsession. I want to hear about it.
I've got such an obsession this week. I was like, we have to also do obsessions because I have such a one, and this doesn't always happen. The obsession. Were you going to say something else? I feel like I cut you off.
No, I was inhaling a breath before I took a sip of beer. That's okay. Isn't that what you do?
The silence in between was her taking a sip, just for the listener. So, okay. My obsession is an HBO show called Sharp Objects.
Oh!
Have you seen it?
No.
Okay.
I've seen the preview for it like every freaking time I load a show on HBO. It's like, watch this. I'm like,
yeah, it shows it to you even when you're going to watch the actual show, and you're like, dude, give it up. Okay, I'm here.
Just as a quick aside, I really want to get into your obsession, but I feel like Netflix does this and HBO does this, and it turns me off a little. Sometimes the intensity, especially Netflix, in which they'll market a show at me makes me refuse to watch it.
Yeah,
they're they'll email me, they'll
push notifications,
big splash on my I'm not gonna watch your show because I feel like it's bad because you're trying too hard.
Yes, that happened. What was that movie recently? And it did get really bad reviews on Netflix, and I must have gotten 5 different push notifications about it. This movie's up here now, and I was like, I fucking know. Yes. No, well, that too, but it was the end of the world, I think, or the way it ends or something that. It's just let me get to it on my. It's they're trying to fucking evangelize me, fucking door to door salesman.
When really it should be Janelle Monáe door to door and not friggin'. But honestly, having just said that, reflecting in my soul, if somebody Whereas Desperate to Give It, I would be like, I'm not listening to Janelle Monáe. You're trying too hard. So, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel. I'm sorry.
Marketing is hard.
So, Sharp Objects. Amy Adams.
Sharp Objects. Amy Adams. This is a mini series, not a recurring series, based on a book that has been out for quite a while. But it's going to be short because I don't want to spoil anything. I think I gave it like an honorable mention at some point in the past. And what I said, I was like 1 or 2 episodes in, and I was like, the whole vibe. So the basic setup is that there's this journalist named God damn it.
Camille Preaker.
Thank you. Camille Preaker. She lives in
Chicago.
She does in the book. In the movie, she lives in St. Louis. In the show, I swear.
Is this like Mad Libs? Is this like we're doing Mad Libs obsession? There's a character named Toilet Face, and she lives in your mom.
In the book, she lives in Chicago. In the show, she lives in St. Louis. Oh God. I just like jacked up my volume accidentally. She lives in St. Louis, okay, and she's a journalist. She works for the St. Louis Chronicle, and she gets sent by her editor back to her hometown where she grew up, which is like in the boonies in Missouri, and the only like real industry there is like hog farming, and her family happens to be like to own like the hog like killing plant, basically. So they like are the family that has all the like money and stuff in town, and her mom is very obsessed with her reputation and standing in the town, and their house is incredibly beautiful that they live in. But there's this like really dark undertone to like the moment she steps into the house, you just to stay with her mother, you just feel this like uneasy feeling. The way that they interact is so wooden, and the way that everyone acts in the household is so strange and like out of reality that it's just like really throws you off balance like right away. And Camille has a lot of like personal issues. Like she's an alcoholic. She has like some like mental health like long-standing sort of mental health issues that she's not dealing with perfectly. And she's also trying to sort of dig in on these disappearances of some local girls, which is why she was sent down there. So it's like the story of her coming back to her hometown and investigating these things and all of the stuff that happens as a result of that. But it's really always sort of fascinating, these like dark underbellies of small town sort of stories. But this one has some like really amazing sort of twists and turns, and it does some really cool storytelling things that I didn't even fully appreciate until I was done watching it and went and read some articles about it. And now I'm actually gonna have to go back and rewatch the entire thing.
I love shows like that.
Yeah. So we started tonight, actually. The finale was Sunday night, and we started rewatching it tonight. So I may have watched it all again by the time that we talk again. I'm not sure, but it's really, really good, and it's very, very layered and very worth like watching closely, because there's a lot of stuff that goes on without any sort of visual prompt or audible prompting, kind of in the way of Breaking Bad, where it really pays to be watching closely. It's a good one to binge watch in bed, I would say. Although it is creepy. It can get creepy.
So a good season for it, at least.
Yeah. So highly recommend that everybody watch that. It's kind of dark. It's kind of creepy. These are my warnings to you. There's probably some like content warnings that you should pay attention to at the beginning of the episode involving like self-harm and stuff like that. But the story is extremely compelling, and it doesn't go where you would expect it to go.
I've been intrigued by it, just from the constant barrage of ads, but it was a book.
Yeah.
Did you read the book?
I didn't, and I might. I've read a little bit about like people who have read it and comparing it to the. I wanted to say this too. I would recommend that anybody who's thinking about watching this, based on my recommendation, if you haven't read anything about like the show or the book, like I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Especially about the show, because there were a lot of really spoilery articles that came out like the night that the final episode released. And you really don't want it to be spoiled for you.
I just kind of like, I Googled for it, but with a kind of a blinders on, and didn't even read the full synopsis because I was wary. Have you heard anything about, if you're thinking about reading the book, if you should read the book before watching the show? Or like, what, have you heard anything about that? Or like, what would your personal opinion be?
I haven't. I've heard that the book and the show are pretty closely linked as far as the story goes. And then also, I think that the show, to me, the show is as much about the aesthetic as it is about the story. Like I said, like this is not a spoiler, and it's actually something I wish I'd been watching out for sooner, but there are like hidden words all over the place in this show. Like usually mostly when you're looking at it from Camille's point of view, because she's kind of the one that's sort of perceiving them in the world, but it's worth close watching just for that. And that's not from the book. That's kind of just like some fun that they were having, in the show. And it's and then also it's just really well shot and well directed. I haven't read anything about whether you should read the book first or not, but I'm sure that it's good. Well, I think it's probably good.
It's always a toss-up, because I feel like, especially with maybe, it's like, if it's the same spoilers, one of them's going to be ruined, So it's just like, do you want the book to be ruined, or do you want the movie? Did you ever read Gone Girl? The book is written by, oh God, we've done this before, Gillian Flynn. Yeah.
She's the one that wrote Sharp Objects.
She wrote Sharp Objects, and she also wrote Gone Girl, which is did you ever read that book?
No.
It's great. It's great, and it's like got a lot of twists, and it's like one of those ones that you can't put down. So I can imagine that Sharp Objects is the same way.
Yes, I would say so. I think Gillian Flynn was also very, very involved in adapting the miniseries.
Cool.
If she wrote, no, she didn't write the script, but because there were like interviews with her that came out when the show ended, so I think she was very involved. So
cool. Is it a show that's
like
gonna have is it more like a miniseries or a proper show? Like, is it gonna have another season?
It's a miniseries.
Okay, cool.
It's over, unfortunately.
It's done. Totally done.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's 8 episodes. Very good.
Cool. Okay. I'm going to add it to the list.
Awesome. What is this list you keep talking about?
It's kind of a mental thing.
Okay.
It's like a back of the mind situation. I re-signed up for Audible after I had my kind of off the cuff like I'm Hoopla now. I'm going to cancel my Audible membership. I'm still using Hoopla, but which is to say, like, I'm gonna add these audiobooks to my queue.
Well, that's mine.
Well, that's great.
If I say any more, I'll spoil something.
Okay.
So, what's yours?
Well, I'll just say one more thing. Will you, since I don't want anything spoiled for me, will you just do like a couple quick searches to see if it would be better for me to read the book or do the HBO first?
Okay.
I might just end up doing the HBO first, just cause. But if anyone has like a strong opinion on it, might be good to know. And you're kind of immune,
right?
You've been vaccinated against spoilers through exposure. I also have a strong one this week.
Okay.
The other day, for some reason, it popped into my mind that I suddenly and immediately wanted to reread a favorite series that I loved reading as a teenager. And it's the His Dark Materials by Philip Pullman. Did you read those?
Yes.
I'm so glad.
I did.
I'm so glad. So I So it's a series by Philip Pullman. It's a young adult series, but doing a little bit of research on the topic before today, I found out that he actually didn't write them with any particular audience in mind. He didn't write them intending them to be for young adults. They're so well written. They're really for anyone. Kind of like a fantasy.
Yeah, I wish I remembered more about them, but I remember being completely brought in by them. Yeah, very fantasy, I would say.
Yeah,
but maybe a little bit steampunky too. But there's magic.
There's kind of magic, but it's kind of the world is a little. It's not explicit magic so much as the world is a little more magical than ours, and something I love about these books is the world building is so good. It's just the world that he's able to create is so vivid and intriguing that you feel completely absorbed by it. The feeling of it is so, I don't know, it's like you're not oh, that's a cool idea. You're you wish that were the reality.
Yeah.
The world's so good. So it's 3 books. It's a trilogy, also known as a trilogy. I'm gonna throw out some fancy terminology. It's The Golden Compass, The Subtle Knife, and The Amber Spyglass. And I just finished The Golden Compass, and I don't know about you, Hannah, but I remember any time I read the whole series just being absolutely destroyed after reading The Amber Spyglass. So I'm kind of interested to see how...
Okay, don't say, but do you remember why?
I don't... Do you want me to say it or you don't want me to say?
No, I don't want you to say it. I'm just
you don't want me to say it. I say, yeah.
Okay, I don't. I can remember that there's a lot of snow, that I also desperately wanted to be there. I can remember being completely entranced, as you say. I can remember a little bit about the subtle knife for some reason, and kind of what it did.
Yeah,
but I don't remember what any of the other thingies that are the titles of the books did, and I don't remember virtually anything else, except I remember the movies were a little bit disappointing.
I didn't watch them.
Okay.
Some of the interesting stuff about so it's kind of in this alternate reality. Whoa, excuse me. It's in this takes place in this different world that is similar to ours, but dissimilar enough to make it really interesting. Every person has an animal companion that they call their demon. Spelled that D and the A and the E that are together. Yeah. What is that character called?
That alone, I was yes, I want this.
Yeah.
Because you can kind of discern something about the nature of the person by their demon, right?
Yeah. So it's basically let me read the Wikipedia article is very thorough on this book. So I'll just read this excerpt from Wikipedia. One distinctive aspect of Pullman's story is the presence of demons, pronounced demon, but it's spelled with that A and E character that are together. I don't know what that character's called. In the birth universe of the story's protagonist, Lyra, a human individual's inner self manifests itself throughout life as an animal-shaped demon that almost always stays near its human counterpart. In fact, they can't separate this is me now, not Wikipedia. They can't separate, and they talk about that in the book, and that's actually a really important theme throughout the books. During childhood of its associated human, a demon can change its animal shape at will, but with the onset of adolescence, it settles into a fixed final animal form, which is also a central kind of theme. And there are just so many really interesting themes and subtleties throughout the book, and the book series as a whole is really critical. It kind of caught some heat from organized religion because it's really critical of organized religion, but really it's critical of dangerous, toxic, extremist religion. It's kind of critical of the Catholic Church in a way.
Mm-hmm.
But it did catch some heat from the Catholic Church, which, you know.
Well, who hasn't?
So, yeah. But they're just really well written. They're so, like, I couldn't put it down. Like, I don't remember what it was. I just, like, thought of them, and I was, like, had to read it, and I, like, ran to the library. I drove. But, like, that day, the day that I thought of it, I, like, went to the library to get it, and they didn't have it. And Molly's like, oh, I think I have it. But she has, like, books 2 and 3. And so I had to order the book from the library and wait for it. And then finally, but then I just, like, when I was in Maryland, I, like, spent all day Saturday reading. And then I finished it late last night. So, and now I'm ready to start book 2 tonight. I'm so excited.
Oh my goodness. That is exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny, as you were saying those things that you were saying, it was bringing stuff back to me. Like the demons. I remember some things about, like, why the it was so critical of, like, these religious groups. I remember some new things about what the knife did. I remember more than I thought I did, somewhere tucked away in there, and it was really good.
Yeah, it was great because it had been long enough between reading it now and whenever the last time I read it was, which is, I'm sure, at least a decade ago, that I kind of remembered the general gist of it, but a lot of it was still brand new, and slowly unraveled. Like, I was like, oh yeah, I think I remember what happens next. But really holding up to my opinion of it as a teenager. And it's funny, in one of those ways that where you kind of read words that you haven't heard out loud. I don't pronounce it demon. In my head, I pronounce it Damon. I know that's wrong, but that's just how
but if
I
that's
do.
wrong, I don't want to be right.
That's how I feel. Is that how you pronounced it in your head?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because demon is a thing, and they're so great. The other thing about demons, or daemons, I'm going to say Damon, because you are not the owner of my mind, is they're so great. Like, they seem like I want one. They're this little animal friend who is part of you and kind of like part of your soul, but also kind of an individual a little bit.
Yeah.
But is a constant companion and kind of can help guide you, can help think things through, can, like, be observing the world around you while you're focusing on something else. But they also kind of go into that a little bit too, about, like, if your Damon's talking to somebody else, you can't truly focus on anything else. You can kind of focus, but, you know, you're always kind of distracted. I imagine it would be like reading something while somebody's talking to you. You're, like,
right,
aware that someone's talking to you, but you're really focused on what you're reading or something.
Right. Do you think it's because the movie just showed up on Netflix? Maybe you saw it out of the corner of your eye?
It's possible.
Yeah. I wonder, I mean, maybe you should watch it. Let me know if it's, I think it's bad. Not bad. I just think it's watered down, because it's really, with fantasy books like that do so much by the way of world building, it's so hard to capture that in, like, an hour and a half.
Well, it is watered down because they specifically for the movie adaptation decided to leave out the church as to not ruffle any feathers. Like a really big antagonist in the Golden Compass is the church, and they decide to just, like, fucking like in the Golden Compass, like, the basically what we could call the Catholic Church is kind of driving this terrible thing that's happening in the book. This really horrific, terrible thing that's happening. But I think what I read was that they kind of leave that out completely in the movie.
Yeah,
so
that sounds familiar.
I mean, the Catholic Church can be critical of it all at once, but, like, really they're being critical of themselves. So that's what I would say about that. One last thing I just wanted to note about Philip Pullman was that he also has, as a person, done a lot of good work and vocalization and campaigning of discouraging age and gender labelings of books, like thinking that that's like just total bullshit, and kind of vocally being against those and campaigning against age and gender labelings. Also doing work and campaigning to stop library closures, and making sure authors are paid fairly for ebook library loans, and all sorts of other great advancement of like literary and author good.
That's great.
So that's nice. You know, these days I'm online to be like, well, like, did he have any scandals or whatever before I laud him. But I was like, oh, he's doing some good stuff out there, so.
He seems cool.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. His name sounds so familiar. I'm wondering if I've read some of his
Ruby
other
and
books.
the Smoke was one I think I got from...
Oh, yes!
I didn't read that yet, but I got it as a gift from your parents probably over a decade ago. It's on my list.
That tracks. It's on the list. That's another series. I think it might be another trilogy. That's like those are cool books.
He wrote it in 1985, The Ruby and the Smoke.
That's the first one. I think it's like a detective, but she's like a blonde woman.
Yeah, it says,
and it's a period piece. What does it say about it? The Ruby in the Smoke, The Shadow in the North, and The Tiger in the Well.
And The Tin Princess.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a quartet.
He's a prolific author.
Yes. Did you see that? I forgot about this. I don't know if I watched them. I feel like I did. The girl, Billie Piper, who plays the first companion in the new seasons of Doctor Who, plays Sally Lockhart in a BBC version of those books.
I'm not familiar with her, but...
Did you watch Doctor Who?
No.
Oh, darn.
Sorry.
Oh, Erin.
I'm sorry.
If Ben was here, he would know.
If Ben were here. We miss Ben.
But those are probably good. She's a really good actress. Awesome. I'm gonna check out at least one of Philip Pullman's books in a reasonable amount of time from now. That's my commitment. That's on my list.
Yeah.
All right. So what's our homework for people?
You're first.
Well, actually,
Hannah, what's your homework?
The listeners first.
Listeners first.
On behalf of the listener, my homework for the listener is to keep on sending us stuff, and we'll keep on reading it on the show. So if you liked getting a shout out, or if you just feel like it, just like send us a note. We want to hear your thoughts on stuff.
If you're listening and you're like, oh, I wish I could jump in, capture it, call us, and then we'll jump in. Jump in.
Jump in if you want to jump in. And then my homework to the listener is watch Sharp Objects on HBO and do not read anything about it first. And I'll let you know in the show notes what I find out for Erin about whether anybody thinks it's better to read the book first versus watching the movie watching the miniseries first. I'll let you know.
Thanks.
What's your homework? Oh, my Twitter is @Anthropology. Also listen to So Dreamy. It's a podcast about dreams, and we do it with shout-outs to Rachel. I do it with shout-outs to Rachel. And Erin did it once. With Molly. And that's it.
Cool. Good homework, Hannah.
Thanks.
And listener, my homework is to read Golden Compass, Subtle Knife, Amber Spyglass. They are on Audible. And I believe Philip Pullman himself.
Who?
What did I say?
Philip Pullman.
Philip Pullman. Philip Pullman himself, with the full cast, narrates it.
Oh.
So, with all the He's got a really good British voice. I'm just listening to the sample right now. Let's check it out. That's the His Dark Materials series.
Yes.
I have a Twitter. It's @ErinByrne. I review lesbian movies on Instagram @LesbianMovieReviews. I'm inching towards 1,000 followers. Let you know when that happens. That's all, I think. We miss Ben. Our homework.
Go ahead. What's your homework
Get
for
your
Ben?
freaking mic set up, and I'll see you next week.
Yeah, that was mine too. And if you want to, let me give you the number again. If you want to call us and leave us a message, and we'll play it on the show, and we'll also read your transcript, which will be not what you said. You can call us at 774-326-0420. Blaze it. And if you want to find our Twitter handles, if you want to find our email address, if you want to find our Facebook group, I think. If you want to find...
No, not that.
Okay, if you want to find our link to Podknife or any other way you want to listen to the show. If you want to find our topic index.
If you want to support us financially.
If you want to support us, find our Ko-Fi. You can go to WayTooBroad.com.
WayTooBroad.com.
Find links for all those things on our beautiful website, WayTooBroad.com.
Well, thank you. If you want to read about us on our About page, those are all things you can do at WayTooBroad.com.
Yeah. And please leave us a review on iTunes or on Podknife. We appreciate those. The cool thing about Podknife is that on the front page it shows like most recent reviews, and since it's not as active as iTunes, we're like still on like showing up on that page, which is kind of fun. But yeah, thanks so much for listening, and we love you. And the podcast candle is here this week, and it is now extinguished.
Bye! We love you! We miss you, Ben!
Bye, Ben.